Hello, BookTube. I have a Friday Reads for you. I haven't done one of those in a while. I have 5 titles I want to show you. And you might think, but 5 titles? Don't you plan on reading for 8 solid hours tonight? And don't you plan on spending at least 15 hours on Saturday reading? And don't you plan on spending at least 15 hours on Sunday reading? How can it only be 5 titles? All will become clear. First one I want to show you is this: The Prince of Outcasts by S.M. Sterling. This is his latest novel in the Change series, a very long series of his that started out with Dies the Fire, a novel in which suddenly, without any warning or explanation, all higher technology in the world ceases to work. And not just the stuff that would be taken out with an EMP pulse or something like that, but even gunpowder. You strike it on a rock and it burns for just a minute or two, but not long enough to make a weapon out of it. Even the stuff that shouldn't be affected, any higher technology, stops working. Planes fall out of the sky, chaos ensues, big cities become death traps, plague, depravity, cannibalism, of course, sweeps everywhere. And the story centers on 2 groups of people in the Pacific Northwest who manage to eke out some sort of salvation from this mess by reverting to basically medieval, quasi-medieval style of living. And they fight against a group of people who likewise embrace a quasi-medieval style of living based on the Society for Creative Anachronisms. So in this series, the geek really do inherit the earth. And quite a bit of it is preposterous, but it's addictively readable, just addictively. And it's one of those science fiction fantasy ongoing series that doesn't care about its own resolution. Apparently doesn't seem to care about that. It's literally open-ended. You would think 40 years ago, if you'd encountered a book like Dies the Fire, you would have thought that the point of the whole series, yes, adventures, yes, character study, yes, showing change over time, but that the point of the whole thing would be to figure out what's going on, to figure out why technology stopped. And that doesn't seem to be the point here. It just doesn't. Our characters are now, I don't even remember what change book this is. It's got to be at least 35 years since the change happened in the books. And still, the characters are just muddling along, building castles, fighting wars, using how to bicycle trains, that's all that sort of thing. But not only do they not have the means to investigate why their technology changed, why their world ended up the way it is, but they have no interest in doing it either. The new generation of people that have grown up in this world don't know any other world. And the same, David Weber's doing the same thing in a series of his, where a group of people, in order to hide from an alien, a ravenous alien race that preys on higher technology, have a group of humans holed up on a planet and abandoned higher technology so that they won't come up on that species radar. And that too seems to call for a larger conclusion to the story, and instead it's just book after book after book of adventures in that pre-technology world. It's kind of strange, but they're both really good series, so I'm not particularly complaining. And then the next one is this. Look at this beautiful cover: Gods and Angels by David Park, an Irish author I really, really like. This is, I believe, a collection of short stories, but all of his short stories take twists and turns that you just don't see coming, and they're very smart. I greatly looking forward to it. Next one, I believe this should be prefaced with the typical YouTube idiocy line of "haters gonna hate," but I'm not ashamed. I'm proud. The new Danielle Steele, Mistress. This is a novel about a woman who is the mistress of a very wealthy and slightly crackpot crime lord, who, I haven't read it, but I've read about it. In the course, early on in the course of the book, he encounters a family, the descendants of a great artist, who will not sell his artwork. It's not for sale. It decorates their family restaurant, but that's as far as it goes. You can't buy one of these things, and of course that makes the crime lord all the more insane to have one. And the one of the members of the artist's family is, of course, a dreamboat. So passion will ensue, and I'll have a front row seat. And then the next one is something that's been recommended to me. It's a debut novel. It's called History of Wolves by Emily Fridland. I probably have got to it in time, but a friend of mine has just strenuously said, bump it to the top of the list. And she's so seldom wrong. She so seldom says that, and she's so seldom wrong that, in fact, I don't think she's ever been wrong, that I did it. Of course, we all have people like that, right? We bookish people have other bookish people that you sound an alarm bell. I am often that to people that I know. If I say, I know you're reading at a steady pace, but there's a book coming up in 2 months that you absolutely must drop everything and read. I have built up enough credit with enough people so that they will tend to do that. And I have people in my life who are the same way with me. And she's one of them. So I'll be doing this. And that you may be counting at home is 4 books. You might think, what on earth? That's not even one day. What could account for this incredible sloth on your part? This accounts for the incredible sloth on my part. This is Volker Ulrich's, the English translation of his Hitler Ascent. 1,000-page volume about the pre-World War II life of Adolf Hitler. And I have the English language edition, and I have the German edition, and it has a million notes, and I am anticipating grappling with it. The last time I read a book on exactly this subject, covering exactly this person and exactly the years of this person's life, was Ian Kershaw's book. And I grappled with that for a long time. I anticipate doing the same with this. This is a major work, and I've got to know it. I've absolutely got to know it. I've got to know its strengths and weaknesses. It's going to be reviewed everywhere. I believe I'm going to review it myself for the Christian Science Monitor, and I want to know it inside and out. I want to possess this book. And when something like that comes along, I take my time. I devote the time that it deserves. So I won't be just flying through it. I'll be hunkering down in the bunker. I will need quite a few palate cleansing books after this, but that's a video for another time. So there you go. That is my Friday reads, barring impulsive safety valve type things that I might do here and there. And I'd love to hear what you're reading this week. And of course, I'll be watching all the Friday Reads videos anyway. And I will try to remember, it's something I'm kind of slipping at, to put these books in the information down below. So you don't have to listen to me natter on Grandpa Simpson style in order to see what I'm talking about. But there you go. 5 books in one weekend. Thank you, BookTube.